All right, you know what day it is. It's 10 Toes Tuesday. Tonight I'm making an easy dish. I'm in my kitchen again because, well, let's face it, it's fall. And the time just went back. Today is Monday, what is it? November the 3rd. So the food stamps were no longer, and we were expecting all these riots and things and people looting and stealing. I don't see that happening until middle of the month, if that happens, but we'll see. Today, what we're gonna talk about is what would you do if you found out this paycheck was your last paycheck? Not that you're getting a severance pay, not anything like that. What would you do with your money? How would you handle yourself if you knew it was your last paycheck for this one job that you have? While we talk about that subject and some of the stuff at hand, we are making a simple dish tonight that can feed about 2, possibly 3 people. But this is 1 to 2 people. I got this, making some lemon pepper stepper baked chicken with some asparagus. I'm gonna have some asparagus. We're gonna have a little wine. We'll go over the wine list, which is this Nighthawk. Yep, wine in a box. Take that camping sometimes. It's about 3 bottles of wine for about 20 bucks. Let's face it, it's gonna go in and out. What does it really matter? But we're making the chicken, and with the chicken, we are going to make some asparagus to go with it. I've got my pan on the stove. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's a little baking sheet with some parchment paper. You'll need that. You'll need the asparagus. You'll need the chicken, and I'll put some of that lemon pepper on there. You also need, I needed to use this, what is this? Kentucky Colonel seasoned flour. We've got some lemon juice. Now, I know some of you guys use the real lemon, and I used to use it, but I looked on the back of it, and the ingredients are more than just lemon or lime. I think this is lime. Key West lime juice from concentrate. Let's see what the ingredients are. Key West lime juice. That's it. Other limeade or real lime or whatever you get, it has a lot more ingredients. You may want to look at that if you're using that. This is the packet that comes in this kernel mix. And I'm only going to use a little bit because I have 1 chicken breast. We'll open this pack. I'm gonna pour some in. While I'm getting this prepared, just gonna pour a little flour in to coat it. And then what I will do is, we might need a little more flour. I'll put the rest of it in a bag and I'll do something with it this week. But as you know, a lot of people have been getting laid off, and approximately 1.7 million people out of 350 million that are living in the United States were laid off in the month of August. Now, I couldn't get October or September. They said the numbers are still coming in. We do know that there are some other big corporations that are laying off people. This was a concern to me. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this tonight, because it's 10 Toes Tuesday. There's already 41.7 million people that did not get their SNAP benefits this month. They've been what they call delayed. We'll see how long this delay lasts and if the government actually opens back up. What we're gonna do now is we take our flour. I'm gonna put it in a little canister, and it's seasoned, but I'm gonna season some myself. Got some paprika, put some extra seasoning in it. That should be enough. And a little chili powder. Now you may think that this will make it spicy, but it won't. What the paprika and the chili powder does is, especially with corn, is it makes it a little sweeter. Put that in a bowl with your flour mixture. You may want to add a little pepper. Now I've already added some pepper to the chicken and the asparagus, but I grind my own pepper. I don't know if you can see that. I grind it myself in a, I forget what they're called right now, but you crush it. I crush mine up. I get the whole kernels and I crush it up, and it's a rainbow pepper. There's orange, well, red peppercorns, black peppercorns, white peppercorns. There's a different variety of them, but I like doing that because then I can get big and small variations and granular and whole peppercorns and things that I couldn't get to. I like that for some reason. So I put some salt and pepper in there. I'll put a little bit more of the lemon pepper in there, and I don't want it to overrun this chicken. The asparagus already seasoned, and I put some extra virgin olive oil in here, and I put it in this Blackstone bottle. I really like this bottle. Just put a little in there. I'll take my chicken out now, and I'll put on a glove. I've already washed my hands, and we'll put this chicken in here. I'll make sure that I get a nice coating. Let me show you. I'm really trying to use my money's worth of the $1.75 or whatever I spent 6 months ago on this batter and get this chicken really coated. I'm spilling stuff everywhere and it's a mess. But getting back to what I was talking about, when we in America are proud of knowing that some people are going to go hungry, that disappoints me. Knowing that the government is going to get shut down, and I have friends that I referee soccer with, and they're on furlough. They don't know if they'll ever get their job back. There's 3 different levels of this, I guess. 3 different levels for them to know if they're going to get their job back or not. Some get laid off, just completely laid off. Some get to work without pay. And then some go into this, I'm not sure how it's done or whatever, but some of them are put into like this lottery, and they don't know if they'll be coming back when the government opens, if they'll be laid off, if they'll have pay. They don't know. It's really messed up when you really see who all it affects, and it's not just poor people. These people are educated in government, things like that. They don't know if they're going to be able to come back to work or not. I think that's sad. What would you do? The holidays coming up. They've got rid of SNAP benefits. They have essentially told people that you're still going to work, but you're not going to get paid. And if the government opens up, we'll be back in business. Would you go look for another job? Would you wait? This is your last paycheck. You're educated. I'm not talking about the SNAP benefits right now. You're educated. You've been working for the government for quite a few years, and they've told you now that you're essentially fired. Layoff is just a firing. Furlough is like a fire, and we'll think about bringing you back. Hold on again. I'm gonna throw this in the trash. We're gonna start our oven, and then we'll continue on with. All right, I'm back. Gonna have a little bit of this box wine. We're gonna get our stuff ready to go into the oven. So I'm gonna put this on this asparagus and the chicken. Look at that, I don't know if you can see it. This chicken, I put the asparagus on the side. I'm gonna sprinkle a little more lemon juice on them. I like a real lemony taste. And then I'll take some more of this sea salt, sprinkle that on them. Sometimes I go overboard with the seasoning. I'm really trying not to overload it with the lemon pepper because I love lemon pepper. We got some more of this pepper. Sprinkle over that. A little bit on the chicken, on the top of the chicken. Now I'm not putting any of the lemon juice over the chicken. I don't want it to overpower it. Put a little more salt on top. And I have a convection oven. It has a convection feature which is supposed to, you can put your chicken in cold, and what it will do is it will bake it from the inside out. We'll see how this works. We're gonna bake it at 375, and I'm gonna bake it for about 40 minutes. So it's convection bake. Press my little button here. Do 400. Gonna do start, and then I'll just take it, slide it in the oven. I'm gonna move my oven rack down so that it's in the middle of this fan that I'm seeing in the back. Once I put it on there, put my timer on, 40 minutes. We'll start it, and voila, that's it. That's what I have to do for dinner. Now I can put everything up. Once I stop talking to you guys, we can put everything up. Let's get back to it. You might be wondering, how can you keep it down? Why are you talking about government employees? How can you keep it down, 10 toes down, and know what these people are going through? I've been laid off a few times, and each time I had no idea how I was gonna make it. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Tyreek the Freak. I was talking to him about a second job. He was talking about getting a second job because he's trying to make it. There's roughly, I think it's 7.7 or 7.8 million people currently that have 2 jobs or more. And since I was about 17, 18, I had 2 jobs or more. At one time, I had a lawn care business that I was doing lawn care, power washing, general household, handyman, fix-it type things. I had a full-time day job, and I was going to school full-time at night, and I did that for 2 years. I can relate to what I feel. I can relate to what's going on in America. I feel that I can relate to the working man who is just trying to put food on the table. I did that, and I'm still doing that, even though I am in a slightly better situation currently. All of that can be taken away tomorrow. That's what I want you to think about. What would you do if all of that was taken away tomorrow? You had 1 paycheck left. It's close to Thanksgiving. You're not on assistance, but you know you don't have a $1,000 emergency fund. Hell, you know you don't have a $200 emergency fund. And that's a lot of people. I'm not talking about everybody. If you do, congrats to you. It's taken me a long time to get that $1,000 emergency fund, a long time. But not everyone has that. What happens with Thanksgiving? What happens with Christmas? Do you cancel all of that for this year? My answer would be yes. But you do what you have to do in order to survive. And like I said, I'm gonna keep it 10 toes down with you. I would tell my kids or whatever that this year was not gonna be the year. We try to do something, February or March. Even if they came back next month and told me that I could have food stamps, that I got my job back, because now you're a month behind. And what happens in that month? You're behind. So your 1 month constitutes 3 months in my world. If I miss a day or 2 or a week of work, it takes me 3 months to make up for that back stuff. What do? What would you buy? Do you buy food? Do you fix the car? Do you pay rent? Do you rob Peter to pay Paul? What I would not suggest is going out and looting or anything like that. I can't suggest that. It causes nothing but trouble, and trust me, I know from firsthand experience what that does. Sorry I showed you guys my belly. I know you don't want to see all that, but it's a serious thing. There's millions, not one or two, not three or four. There's millions of people right now that either are not receiving SNAP benefits, they have 2 jobs, that are laid off, or both. If there is 41 million Americans that are not receiving SNAP benefits, and another 2 million right now that are laid off, and then you have another 8 million that have 2 jobs, and I don't know that percentage when I did my research of how many people that have 2 jobs are actually receiving SNAP benefits, if anything, or people that have a job that are still receiving SNAP benefits. That part I don't know. I can't tell you that. But if we do the math, that's an average of 50 million people out of 350 million people in the United States right now that are either out of work, have 2 jobs, are not receiving benefits, or a little bit of both. Just something to ponder. What I personally have done, would do, and me and Reek were talking about it, was I go get a job. Because if it's 10 to 12 bucks an hour, which I've had to do before because I've got laid off and I was making 18 to 20 bucks and another job was offering me 9, I took the $9 job in order to feed my family, and then I went out and made flyers and started a company to cut lawns and do handyman work and things like that. And it was rough there for a while. At the time that I got laid off, I was going to school as well. I was going to school and my truck broke down, it needed a new transmission. I didn't have it. Luckily, I had some good people in my corner. But even those people can only help so much because they have to do for their family as well. And I had to do for my family. I knew I had to get through school, so I stayed in school. Somehow I made that. I got rides and things, and rides to school and rides from school. Then I had to study. Then I had to go work this job that was paying me, I think it was like $9.25 at like Advanced Auto at that time. Then when I started the lawn care, that was piece by piece, but that would be, I need you to cut on Tuesday, and I'd negotiate when I could come and cut, and that was cash, and I'd get that cash, and sometimes that cash would be enough to get something to eat. It really just, to me, hits me hard when I think of 50 million Americans right now that are suffering. And not to say that the other 300 are living extravagantly, because we know that, let's say it's probably 10 million people that are really, really, really comfortable. The rest are in between. You're one job away from not having anything. You're one day away from the boss coming. I'm one day away from the boss coming and telling me, we don't need you anymore. And then even though I have this emergency fund saved up, how far can I really stretch that? Like last week when I told you guys, and what I told you guys was, start looking out, helping somebody in need. Start figuring out if you can, even if it's just a can of something, 2 cans of something. Everybody has 2 cans of something. 2 cans of canned goods, or invite somebody over for not just Thanksgiving. It's not just about Thanksgiving. We don't know if or when some of this stress, because that's what it is, stress will be taken off of us. Reach out to your neighbor. Reach out to the person you know who has a few kids. Reach out to the shut-in, the elderly. To your church, community group, and there was a guy, and I appreciate your comments, sir. I forget your name, but I appreciate your comments. You had a few, and I wrote you back. I appreciate and tried to answer all of those. But he was right. Reach out to everyone that you can. And don't think about everyone. Think about one person that you can help and have them pay it forward. And if they have a can or they're able to invite a neighbor over for dinner, have them do that. But I'm waiting for this chicken to get out of the oven. I got about 28 minutes left, and then I'm gonna eat. With that being said, we gotta stick together. This is bigger than you. No matter what you're going through, this is bigger than you. Until next time, and you know there will be a next time, I'm out.